I'm Danny Bonaducci, and you are watching Govs Radio. This is where you go if you want to see something or if you want to hear something funny. Coming up in just a couple minutes. This is a joke I told. What? I'm not on Gov Radio? Call the police. Call my agent.
The Knockem Dead Comedy Radio Show also brought to you by Two Eagles Auto Body. For more than 25 years, Two Eagles Auto Body has been the leader in auto body repairs and customer satisfaction on Long Island. Two Eagles Auto Body handles every type of auto repair, from custom applications and restorations to repairs involving insurance claims. So call Two Eagles Auto Body and ask for John Rossi at 516-328-2527. The Knockem Dead.
Little roller up along first. Behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it.
Hello, Tony. Mookie Wilson here, 1986 Mets. How you doing? Long time no see, man. Hey, man, I miss you guys, man, at Knockem Dead Comedy Radio, man. I miss you. I wish I was still up there, man. But I'll wait till it warm up a little bit, and hopefully this year things will be a little bit better, man. But when you're talking about comedy, hey, the early years of Mets was a lot to laugh about. You had to make a lot of comedy with those guys. Hey, hope to see you guys during the summer, and hopefully get back on the show, man, at some point in time during the course of the year, all right? All right? Yeah, fine. Contact me, man. All right, Tony. Talk to you later.
show begins. You're telling all your friends. The party never ends. Knockem dead. Knockem dead. Comedy show.
Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday. Welcome to the Knockem Dead Comedy Show. We are live from Governor's Comedy Club, the legendary Governor's Comedy Club, here on Gov's Comedy Club podcast. Please hit the thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, share the link to this show. Tell everybody you know about all the great shows here at Governor's Comedy Club podcast. We have a lot of great shows. And look who's here today. Mike Kaplan is here, ladies and gentlemen.
Ah, thank you.
Oh, no. Thank you.
Oh.
Thank you.
Hit the subscribe button.
Yeah. Mike's cold. I'm not. But Mike doesn't have a thyroid.
No, I don't have a thyroid.
So Mike gets he wins.
Yes, thank you.
The heat is on. Hopefully it warms things up, makes things nice and toasty for you. Toasty,
yeah.
I said.
Yeah, because there's meat hanging over here in the corner.
Meat in the corner. Just a couple of meat heads.
Yeah.
Hello, John Rusiello. Good morning, everyone. He
John
says,
Rusiello.
say happy birthday to Mike Kaplan. Tomorrow is his birthday. Tony, please give him a fake. What does that mean?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm a little scared though.
It's a misprint.
I'll shake his hand. That's I don't know what
code for something.
Yeah, I don't need to know. I don't need to know.
I don't know.
But yes, it is Mike's birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday. Mike's
okay,
turning 72 years
Yeah,
old.
72. 73.
Wait a minute. It's 59.
59.
59.
Can I say, do you mind
No.
if I interject at this particular moment?
That's why you're here.
You know how many times I get, oh, you look like Billy Joel. You know, I get it all the time.
Sure.
Do you realize he's almost 80?
Billy Joel is 74.
74.
So you look like a 75-year-old man.
Wow.
You know, well, I got to be honest. I get that too.
Oh, I know you do.
Yeah.
That's
And
one of our claims to fame. We look very similar.
And yes, you're absolutely right.
So a lot of times I say, oh, I look like a 75, 80-year-old man. Thank you very much. I like that. Yeah.
No, my stock response is I wish my wallet looked like his.
And I always say I wish I had his talent.
Yeah, okay. Well, with the talent comes the fat wallet, so you're right.
Yeah.
And then, there years ago, I mean, I've been getting the Billy Joel thing since I was a teenager.
Oh, yeah.
And I was in my 20s, and I was at a mall, and I was buying, I forget, I was in a toy store, and I was buying, I don't remember why, it doesn't matter. I was buying stuff, and the cashier, she was younger. She was in her teens, right? And she rings everything up. She tells me the total, whatever it was, 30, 40 bucks, whatever it was. I'm digging out my credit card. And she goes, anybody ever tell you look like Billy Joel? And I didn't even look up. I'm getting my credit card out of the wallet, and I go, yeah, I get that all the time. There's just a quick moment, quick silence, but sure enough, she leans in and says it quietly. She goes, are you him? I was like, oh my God. So I handed the credit card, and I thought once she would see the credit card, she would see my name, and
Right,
all right.
yeah.
She takes the credit. I don't know if she looked at it. I mean, she looked quickly at the card. I guess I don't know if she looked at the name, but she puts it in, and then as it's, this is 30 years ago, so credit cards took a minute back then.
Yeah.
So as it's registering, she's giving me one of these, like she's waiting for an answer. So now I'm thinking, all right, well, now I'm just going to mess with this little girl.
Oh, yeah.
And I shouldn't
That's
even say
you do the best, yes.
and I shouldn't say little girl. I mean, she was probably like 18, 19, and I was at the very most 30. All right,
Yeah.
so I don't want to come across as creepy, but I did. I leaned in. I go, do you want to be my Christy Brinkley?
Oh, what a good comeback.
I know. And she just went like that. And then I finally said, I'm not Billy Joel. I said, look at the card. And silence after that. She didn't say two words to me. Actually, I think she did say, have a nice day, once I had everything and was leaving.
Have a nice day, Mr. Joel.
Yeah, right.
Because, a lot of those stars, they do have fake names with their names on the credit card.
True. I don't think Billy Joel's one of them, actually.
No.
Billy Joel, from what I understand, people in the know call him William.
Yes.
That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I've met the man a few times myself. He's never said, "Hey, you look like me." Oh, that's even a better story. I was in his motorcycle shop. You ever been there?
In Oyster Bay?
Yeah.
No.
I love Oyster Bay, first off. I love Oyster Bay.
Oyster Bay is a great
little town. They have this great restaurant called Tabby's that I just can't get enough of. But when Sally and I were together, we went up to Oyster Bay once, and we went to Tabby's. It's one of my favorite places to eat. So we went up there for lunch, and it was like late summer, early fall. Oh, you know what? Well, all right. I have this story, and then I'll hit you with another story. So we finish eating. We walk out of Tabby's. I literally take one step out onto the sidewalk. There goes the motorcycle. He passes right by us. I go to Sally. I go, "That was Billy Joel." She goes, "No, it wasn't." I said, "I'm telling you, that was Billy Joel." She goes, "No, it wasn't." I said, "Let's go." I bet her $1. I said, "That's Billy Joel." The motorcycle the place is walking distance.
Yeah, where he
to
has
Tabby's.
all his motorcycles.
Yeah,
right?
beautiful place, beautiful bikes. Yeah. So we walk over there. Sure enough, he's still outside the place, and it was him. So I turned to her. I go, "You owe me $1." And then I turned to him. I go, "Boy, we picked the right day to come here for lunch." He's doing something to his motorcycle, but I'm telling you, he just looks up like this. So I stopped. I stopped dead in my tracks, put my hands up. I said, "If you don't want to be bothered today, no problem." He goes, "Okay." Like that, and he walks to the motorcycle shop. So I'm like, "What does that mean?"
What does that mean?
Okay. So I'm about to walk away. The mechanic that runs the shop, who's like there every day, he comes to the door and he turns to us. He goes, "You guys want to come in?" And I'm telling you, I did one of these. I was like, "Yeah, we want to come in."
Hell yeah.
But then we go in. He locks the door behind us. So Sally goes, "Are we going to get killed?" I'm like, "I don't know what's going on." So it was the two of us. There were two guys, the mechanic and Billy Joel. Billy goes over to these two guys. He talks about, these guys obviously were star fuckers. They just wanted to talk to Billy Joel, but they're obviously not like big fans. They just wanted to say they met Billy Joel. They were asked, like stupid questions. "Oh, I saw you in concert last, 2 years ago," like stupid stuff, and you could tell he was just going through the motions. Maybe these guys were rich and they paid for a few minutes. I don't know what the deal was. It was all superficial shit, and they left. They let these guys out the door, and again, they locked the doors. So now it's me and Sally, the mechanic, and Billy Joel. It's like, what the hell are we doing here? So we're just kind of lingering. We're just loitering, basically. We're just walking around. Billy Joel's talking to this guy like you'd be in any shop. Did you order that muffler? Did you, what about, the brakes on that bike? And Billy Joel, I see him. He's picking up parts and he's looking at it. He's checking. So, and Sally, several times, she's like, "We got to get out of here." I was like, I don't know. Calm down. I wasn't mad. I didn't mean to come across that way, but I was just like, nothing's going to happen to us. The worst is they're going to do is say, "Okay, you guys had enough time. Goodbye." Like, who cares? So,
But as you were doing this, he really wasn't even looking your way.
again, it was like we're in any automotive shop. These guys
Well, you're just checking out motorcycles at a motorcycle.
Yeah, there's easily 100 bikes in that place. It's a beautiful place. And I love, I couldn't tell you anything about a motorcycle, but I do love looking at them.
Yeah, me too.
And I do like them. I don't have much experience on them. My father died in a motorcycle accident, so I've kind of stayed away. But I do like them. If it wasn't for my father dying on a motorcycle, I probably would have looked into getting one, you know, when I was starting to drive and stuff. So I'm just checking them out. And he's got bikes from all over the world, different types, different colors, the whole works. So I do enjoy the place. But sure enough, we're there for about maybe 15, 20 minutes, and sure enough, he comes walking over. So now in my head, I'm like, what the hell do we talk about? So he comes over, and he's just like, so you guys like the bikes? And I just said, Billy, I said, I thought, aren't you a Harley guy? I said, I don't see many Harleys in here. That's all I said.
Wow.
And which was the truth. That's all I said. But then he just went off. Well, yeah. Well, Harleys, sometimes they have problems with this and they have problems with that. But these bikes over here, come over here. So now we're following him. He's given us this whole tutorial on motorcycles.
Really?
It was very strange. So now, before we went on air today, we were talking about my friend Sal. You know Sal.
Yes.
Sal's a big Harley guy.
Yeah.
Years and years ago, Sal was telling me that most Harleys, the mufflers are, like in front of you. You're riding the bike, and the muffler's right there. The mufflers need, they heat up. They need to be air cooled. Mm-hmm. He said that's why if you see a Harley guy driving in between the lanes, as much as that sucks, people in cars, we hate when these motorcycles go by like that. But he pointed out because Harley riders, they're nicer. They obey the rules. They don't go flying. They're not dangerous.
No,
it's the other guys driving the.
It's true. I know that's a stereotype, but
it is.
Harley guys are very respectful.
Yeah. So Sal said to me, when you're riding, if you see somebody in a Harley going in between lanes, that's why, because they need that cool breeze to warm their muffler up.
Okay.
Why that stayed in my head all these years, I had no idea. But I'm talking to Billy Joel, and he's going on about his bikes. He could have been speaking a foreign language to me. I have no idea what he's talking about. And I didn't know if this pertained to anything, and I figured, all right, I'm going to say what Sal told me. This is either going to get me kicked out, or he's going to be like, oh, excellent. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So I said it. Sure enough, he goes, yes, that's an excellent point. Come over here. And I swear to you, from that, he then he lays it on the ground and goes underneath a bike, right? And he's laying there. Then he peeks his head out, and he peeks his head out, and he goes, come on. I'm like, oh, okay. So now me and Sally are now laying on the floor with Billy Joel underneath a motorcycle.
Oh, my God.
And he's like, you got to take a look at this, and then you see this, and then this sets this off. Again, I have no idea what he's talking about. But, and again, the whole time I'm just sitting there thinking, I'm laying on a floor with Billy Joel. This is the weirdest moment of my life. We get up. We're going to look at more bikes. This went on for, it had to be close to a half hour, maybe even, probably a good half hour. And so now we're like, you could see he was kind of wearing down finally, like he was done. And he was very, like he was in a good mood. He was nice, but I want to talk to him about music. I
know, yeah.
So I'm just like, son of a bitch. So then he said something about Colorado came up, and I don't remember why. But he. Yeah, so he said something about how he loved Colorado.
Red Rock?
No.
Colorado.
I don't remember why it came up, but he something came up about Colorado, and he mentioned maybe we'd talk about like open roads, maybe to ride or something, maybe.
Yeah.
But Sally, she lived in Colorado for a time.
Yeah.
So she said that. She goes, "Oh yeah, Colorado. I lived there," and you can see it all over his face. He didn't believe her. Like at this point, you can like he was starting to look suspicious of us, like, are we just trying to be star fuckers too? So he goes, oh yeah, where'd you live? And she tells him, and then she started naming a few places in the town, and sure enough, he goes, oh yeah, I know that place, I know this place, and she mentioned a bar, and he goes, oh yeah, he goes, before I hit, I used to play in that bar. He goes, that bar had the best weed. So what he said, so that like now he's like comfortable with us again, like he called out Sally's bluff and he lost. So he was getting even more comfortable. So I had the same music teacher as him from Hicksville High School.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Now this teacher, this is the guy that really pushed him to be a working musician and go into music full time. And like if you dive deep into Billy Joel interviews and stuff, to this day he mentions that man. He says yes, Chuck Arnold. He was the guy that pushed me. He was the one that told me I should be a musician. Which was such a big gamble, but I owe my life to him. And again, I had the same music teacher when I was in high school, and he was a super teacher. So now I'm trying to make my connection to Billy Joel. I said, yeah, Chuck Arnold lives in Colorado now. And now I called his bluff and I lost. He goes, I know. He goes, I go, yeah, I said, I just saw Chuck Arnold a couple of years ago. There was a party for him. Here on the island, and a bunch of us Hicksville people went. He goes, yeah, I know. And I was like, oh shit, I'm pissing him off. He goes, when he came in for that party, he stayed at my house. I was like, oh, that's very nice. And now I'm backing off,
Yeah.
But then Sally, was it Sally or was it me? I think it was Sally. Just by coincidence, whichever one of us it was, just happened to be wearing a shirt that said bottle of red, bottle of white. Yeah, so I noticed it. Whether I noticed it myself or her, I forget. But I pointed to him. I said, "Oh, Billy, look what we're wearing." Showed him the shirt, and he goes, "Oh," he goes, "That's pretty funny." He goes, "I've never seen that shirt." I said, "I bet you've seen the checks." And he actually laughed at that. He goes,
funny.
And that's what he said. He goes, "Oh, that's good. That's good. That's funny."
That's good.
So we got on his good side, and then with that, I was like, "All right, we're out. Round on the good." I was like, "Billy, thank you very much," and we split. And then I saw him again.
That's a great story.
It is a great story.
Yeah, that's a great story.
I've told on here 100 times. Sorry, but about a year later, I went to a Q&A that he was doing in the city, and I was sitting right in the front, and I was sitting next to. This guy, his name is Andy Gil Martin. The guys that Billy Joel, like his band, when he had all of his hits,
Yeah.
none of those guys are with him anymore. So some of them have since gotten together and they have their own band where they go around, playing those songs. The guy I was with is their manager. So Billy knows him. So Billy kept looking our way a lot. But then during this Q&A, if he was mixed up on like some history of whatever he was talking about, he would look over by us. And after a while, I'm like, I think he's looking at me. And he was asked, like, what year was that again? Like, and I'd be like, oh, 1973. This went on the whole thing. So I finally turned to Andy. I go, is he looking at you? Is he like, what's going on? He goes, no, I think he's looking at you. I go, why? And Andy knew the story. He goes, dude, he goes, I think he knows who you are. I'm like, what? He goes, he probably remembered you from that story with the motorcycle. He said, because you weren't star fucking him. You didn't ask him for a million pictures. I didn't take any pictures with him.
Yeah.
We just had this conversation about bikes. and he goes, and I can tell you right now, Billy Joel under a different name is on Facebook. He goes, and you're an active guy on Billy Joel pages. He goes, I'm telling you, he knows who you are. I said, I really don't think so. But the whole damn show, he kept, like, again, even there was a song he started talking about a song that he had recorded that he never played live. And he looks right at me. He goes, should I play it? I was like, yeah, play it. Like, it was really strange. And then he actually called me up to ask him a question. And, like, again, I think that was all, because, there was some kind of weird connection there. But
I'm assuming if that guy was right and he trolls your page or he sees you on, he knows you're a big music person.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, could be. It could be. I've seen him once since then, and even then he seemed to, like, he went out of his way to give me, like, a little wave.
Wow.
And I just kind of, again, I'm like, hi, Billy. That's my friend Billy Joel. Like, it was weird. But the other story I was going to tell you about looking like Billy Joel. One day, I think it was after that. It doesn't matter. It was another time that me and Sally went to the motorcycle shop. And I just happened to get a parking spot right outside the shop. So we're inside. We finish what we're doing. We leave. We walk out of the place. I get into my car. Again, parked right outside the motorcycle shop. I start driving off. And I don't know, I heard something. I heard a weird noise. And I'm not even...
In your car or just outside?
Outside.
In general.
And this was summertime, so both the windows were down. And I'm at the very most 100 feet away from the place. Like, I had just pulled out from my parking spot. And, you know what it was? I hit a stop sign. That's what it was. So there was a stop sign, and just as I started to go again, that's when I looked, of course, made sure nobody was coming. But then I looked at my rearview mirror because I heard something weird. I see a woman running down the middle of the street, running towards my car, right in the middle of the street. And she's screaming and waving her arms. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm thinking, like, did I hit somebody? Did I run her foot over? Like, what the? So I slam on the brakes. And she then comes on the passenger side. And she runs, and Sally's sitting there, and both of us, she comes running, she comes up to the window. I'm sorry, never mind. I'm sorry. And she takes off. Sally looks at me. She goes, what the fuck was that? And I go, that woman thought I was Billy Joel.
Yeah.
And she was chasing after the car. I mean, it hit me immediately.
Oh, absolutely.
She thought I was
Especially
freaking Billy Joel.
Right there, yeah.
Right, because I came right out, yeah. And then Sally was like, holy shit. We had a good laugh at that for like an hour. Yeah, I like that story even better than meeting the man himself. That this dope was running down the street like a moron.
That is funny. Yeah, but laying on the floor with Billy Joel, that's a story of legends.
That is a wild story. I do wish I had pictures. because it's such a crazy story. But
Now, let me ask you, have you ever seen him live?
Oh, of course, a million times.
I have not.
Never.
Never.
Wow. Are you not a fan of his music?
You know, I think he's gifted, and I do love his music. I can't answer you. For years, I was not. I really wasn't. I don't know. Maybe it was just a very cliched Long Island musician. Believe me, I'm not bad-mouthed.
I hear you. It just hit me.
What, did you see spiders?
No, just before we went on the air, you said something to me, and I said, "What?" And then you just made a joke, and
I made a joke.
you asked for water.
Yeah.
It just hit me when I took that water. I was like, all of a sudden, it registered what you said.
Yeah.
So I was looking. So I usually keep waters on that table over there, but I don't.
Yeah.
I don't see any. I don't. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's any there. You want me to? I can run next door and get you some water.
You're on the air.
I'll throw a video on for 2 minutes.
No.
You sure?
Thank you.
Hey, are there cups over there? Yeah, there's cups there. You want me to pour you some out of this bottle?
No, I do not.
You sure?
Positive. I don't swap spit.
All right, don't yell at me. A fake Bucky peanut butter chocolate patty. I am. Yeah, John. They're all done. They're gone. The latest shipment is gone. If I had one, I'd give it to Mike. But you free for lunch? I'll buy you lunch for your birthday tomorrow.
Sure.
All right, I'm buying lunch for Mike today. So there you go, John. I'm sorry. You were talking about. So you don't enjoy his music? Are you?
I love his music.
Are you just sick of it? Because it is so overplayed here on Long Island. It is.
Growing up, you're a little younger than I am, but that's all everyone talked about growing up.
Yeah.
In the 80s, especially.
Oh, try growing up in Hicksville in his town.
Even more so. Yeah, I don't even know that. Mm-hmm. But I think just from a young age, I was such a Boss fan.
Yeah.
And that's really all I listened to. But I never got around to seeing him. But everyone said it's an unbelievable experience to see him play.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know so much now because he's older and he doesn't. Yeah. I mean, I take that back because you can't go wrong with those songs. Those songs, I mean, he's got so many anthems and there's so many memories that you associate with those songs. So, yeah, it's still a great experience.
Have you seen Bruce, though, at 73 years old?
Bruce is in better. Bruce has been in better shape than me for probably 25 years now. He's 30 years older than me, or 20 years older than me.
He's in incredible shape.
Oh, yeah.
I know. I'm waiting for a John Rusciello joke about Bruce Springsteen.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It looks like you hit a stop sign on the way here, says Fender. Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
It's red. It's Red Thursday.
And I said, "What do you got? The fucking Christmas shirt on?"
Yes, you did. You
fucking Kris Kringle, fuck Christmas. Oh, did I say that out loud? I'm sorry.
You said that last week too.
I'm sorry.
Fucking Scrooge bastard.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's me.
I opened up for Billy Joel.
As what?
So this story.
As a comedian?
Kind of.
Wow.
So, was it last year? Yeah, April of last year. This music teacher I was telling you about. I don't know what the deal is, but he retired in 1990. And I was already out of high school by that point, but they had a big ceremony for him that I attended, and Billy Joel was actually there for that. But then for whatever reason, so the man's been retired for 30 years, but for some reason last year, Hicksville High School decided to name their auditorium after him.
Oh, really?
The Chuck Arnold Auditorium. Now, he's still alive. He's 90-something, but he's still around. And his family flew him in from Colorado to be a part of this thing. So at the ceremony, in the Hicksville High School auditorium, they were going to have the ceremony, and an email went out, or I saw something on Facebook where they said, if you'd like to be a part of this ceremony, if you'd like to come to the ceremony, please submit your name. So I submitted. Mm-hmm. But then I was contacted, not only with, yes, you can come, but we'd like you to say a few words. I was like, oh, shit. I was like, yeah, absolutely. We'd love to do that. So then the night before, there was a local Knights of Columbus was having a party for this teacher. So we're having the party, then the dedication ceremony the next night. So I went to this party as well. And saw a lot of people from Hicksville, saw a lot of teachers, saw a lot of people I haven't seen in years. But I also met this teacher's daughter. And, of course, Chuck Arnold's daughter. And of course, I struck up a conversation with her because she's a good-looking woman. So I'm kidding. I mean, she is a good-looking woman. I'm just kidding about that. I just happened to be standing near her, and I just started making conversation. But we kind of hit it off, joking around back and forth. And she's like, I think she drew an F-bomb, like threw an F-bomb down before I did. I was like, oh, this is one of my people
cool.
here. So
Yeah.
we really hit it off. We were laughing a lot. So finally, after a while, I just turned to her. I go, all right. So tell me. I go, Billy Joel's going to be there tomorrow? She goes, oh, yeah, he's going to be there tomorrow. Because, that stuff is hush-hush.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, all right, cool. So we get to the ceremony. They hand out, little programs. There's 5 speakers. And I'm the last one. I'm like, that floored me. I'm like, I'm the last one? They had a woman spoke. She was a former student. She became a teacher at Juilliard.
Wow.
They had another, woman who was a teacher. They had, I think,
Now these were all people that
graduated Hicksville and who had him as a teacher.
Chuck Arnold.
They had one guy. His name is Bobby Sen. He's been in here a couple times. I think I may have told you about him. I forget the details, and I should know this, but he's either the only New York City fireman or one of a few New York City firemen that were in both towers when they collapsed and survived. So
wow.
Yeah. And so Bobby Sen is he's a great guy and a hero. In fact, the very first 9/11, the very first show we had on 9/11, we had Bobby come in here to talk about it, which was a big deal. He originally said he was going to stay for 45 minutes. He ended up doing almost 4 hours with us.
Wow.
Yeah, we actually just stayed on the air and sat here and talked to him. That still one of the, in my opinion, one of our better moments. But anyway, he was asked to speak as well. And I'm looking, and I even said it when I went up there. I go, "You end with this? Why would you end with this?" Then realizing, oh shit, Billy Joel is going to be next. So I finally said, I don't know why you chose this slob to end your show with. And but I'm thinking, no, Billy Joel's going to end this show. So as I'm doing my speech, and all these, the other speakers like, Mr. Arnold, I love you, and they're crying, and you did this for me. I went the total opposite route. I did nothing but tell jokes. And I told a couple of funny stories that I had with him back then, and I even mentioned how I saw him a few years prior, and he had no clue who I was.
My question to you is, why did they pick you to speak? You still to this day you have no idea.
No idea. The superintendent of the schools, and I believe she still is, was a former teacher of mine. I don't know if she picked me for that reason. I don't even know if she's the one who picked. I really have no idea. I don't know if it's... Sometimes I think, and this is, I guess, getting a little off topic, but sometimes I wonder, or sometimes I think because of this, because I'm here at Governor's and because once in a while I'll have a bit part in some movie or something. Sometimes I think people think I'm bigger than I am. And I don't mean to sound a little conceited by saying that, but... I'm 5'10". I don't mean that to sound conceited, but
No, not at all.
But I have people a lot, because I'll post pictures of me with Joey Cola and me just last week meeting Tom Green. So I think, people are like, oh, look at him living the life. In fact, even Billy Joel. A friend of mine from high school, who was a huge Billy Joel fan, I told her that motorcycle shop story. And she's like, did you ever think in high school that you'd be hanging out with Billy Joel? I'm like, I wasn't hanging out with Billy Joel. That was a chance meeting.
It was
But I think it gets a little, lost in translation there.
Yeah.
So I maybe that's why. And in fact, I even said it in my speech. That because now doing stuff like this, that teacher, even though he was a music teacher, he was very instrumental with getting me to see that acting, that I could do it, and just really how much I enjoy it. And doing something like this is what I would love to do in life.
Did you have him as a teacher?
Yeah, chorus teacher, and he was also the music director in the musicals at school. So
because you obviously, everyone knows that you're a huge music fan, right?
Yeah.
Did he actually make you into the music fan you are, or did you had it in you when you were growing up as a kid?
I had it with me. This is. Yeah. Well. All right. So what happened was when I was 12. I lived with my grandmother until I was 12.
Yeah.
And then my grandmother it was her house. So she, this was 1982. She was getting married. My grandfather was gone for 7 or 8 years at that point. He had passed away. So she actually hooked up with a guy that she knew since she was a teenager. His wife had passed. My grandparents and this couple, they were friends all through the years. My grandfather dies, that guy's wife dies, so the two of them are like, oh, we should get together.
Oh, so they killed their spouses off so they can get together.
Exactly.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, and they got away with it, too.
Yes.
This was the grandmother, which I'm pretty sure I must have told you the story, where I fell into her grave.
Yes.
It's that grandmother.
Yes.
So she's getting married to this guy. She decides to sell her house. And my mother, single parent, she couldn't afford the house on her own.
Yeah.
So she couldn't buy it. So we had to move. We moved to where my mother is now. She's been in the same place for 41 years.
Yeah.
And it's Hicksville, but we went from one end of Hicksville to another. And when you're 12 years old and you're not driving, and it was probably like a half hour, 45-minute walk. It was, when you're 12 years old, one end of Hicksville to another, that's the end of the world.
Oh, absolutely.
To a 12-year-old kid, you're talking New York to Australia.
Yeah.
So all my friends were over there. My whole life was over there. So we go to this other area of Hicksville, and this was just as I graduated elementary school. So it's not like I was in the junior high or the middle school where I knew other kids in other parts of Hicksville.
Yeah.
So we went to this part of Hicksville. I didn't know anybody. And so that first year was a tough adjustment. I didn't have any friends to hang out with. That's how I got into music. I would just sit in my room and turn the tunes on. And it just kind of went from there. Yeah.
But you and your brother had a love of music from young.
Well, I'm sure. Well, that was part of it too. My brother,
Yeah.
my brother with his physical disabilities, his physical limitations, he couldn't play sports. He couldn't do anything really physical.
Yeah.
So he, he went over to the music, the arts end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm sure that had a lot to do with it too. It was me first who went for guitar lessons, and I wasn't really getting it. And I was 12.
Yeah.
I was like, screw it. So he actually grabbed my guitar one day, and then all of a sudden, 2 hours later, he's playing a full song. So that's how he started playing. He grabbed my guitar one day and just started checking it out. So but those two things were right around the same time. So that's where it came from, and that's why I even joined. That's why I joined things like the drama club, because I was into music, and so I got to know this teacher from there. And then my senior year of high school, I went into the chorus, and that's when I really developed a close relationship with him. Again, a great teacher.
He was
great.
much of a great music teacher?
For me personally, yes.
Yeah, wow.
And my brother says the same thing, and I know plenty of kids from Hicksville that will say that. And yeah, I mean, that ceremony. I mean, hundreds of people showed up between the two nights. And even my mother remembered him. I mean, he was at Hicksville for a long time. So my mother graduated from Hicksville too. I thought he was an excellent teacher.
So I guess Chuck Arnold saw the talent in Billy Joel.
Yeah. The story.
William Joy.
Yeah. The story goes that he was cutting whatever class. Billy Joel hung out with what did we used to call them as kids? The Burnouts?
The Burnouts,
yeah. He was,
or the Potheads.
Yeah, that was him. That was his crew.
Yeah.
Not a good student, and he didn't even graduate.
Yeah.
But yeah, he wasn't a good student. So so the story was he was cutting a class. He went into the auditorium because there's a big grand piano that sits in there, for chorus and the concerts and whatnot. He was taking piano lessons at home. And he would never, like I said with my brother could just play. My brother's taught himself many instruments. Billy Joel's the same way with the piano. It was just automatic to him. He could just do it. And so even though he took lessons, he wouldn't practice the pieces that they would, like his homework. He wouldn't. He would do his own variations and his own stylings. and he was doing that in the auditorium. He was playing, I want to say Tchaikovsky, but I don't know if that's right, but he's playing it, and he's just, messing around the piano, all of a sudden gets a hand on his shoulder, and he thought, oh, shit, I'm nailed. I'm cutting class. And it was this guy, Mr. Arnold. he goes, what are you playing? And he's like, well, it's kind of like Tchaikovsky, but I'm kind of faking it, doing my own thing. He goes, yeah. He goes, I know, I recognize what you're playing. He goes, but that's the best fake job I've ever heard. Who are you? And he said it just went from there. And he actually went to bat for Billy Joel and said, this kid should be in Mr. Arnold's music appreciation class and chorus, and like kind of got him. And and he thrived. And he said, Mr. Arnold. In fact, I have a video somewhere. In 1996, Billy Joel was doing a Q&A at CW Post, the local college. And I got picked to ask him a question there. This is 1996. Years later, on Billy Joel's YouTube channel, they actually posted it. Me asking Billy Joel this question. I remember seeing it on YouTube probably about maybe 10 years ago. I was like, holy shit, that's me! Where it's me asking him, hey, tell us what Mr. Arnold did for you. And then, he goes into this whole thing, and he said, Mr. Arnold, he said to me, you should be a musician. You have what it takes to be a musician. He goes, he was basically telling me, you should live a life of drug use and, financial distress and being a bum.
Yeah.
But it worked out. It obviously worked out.
Did.
But yeah. So I did that speech, told a bunch of jokes, and then sure enough, I finished. The superintendent comes back up. She goes, "Thank you, Tony Walker, cutting the class up as always, just like the old days." And now, ladies and gentlemen, Billy Joel. Like, I wasn't even in my seat yet, and here comes Billy Joel. So that's been my joke ever since. I opened for Billy Joel. I opened for Billy Joel. But yeah. How's that for a long-winded answer to some questions, huh?
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's right. I don't know, but I took a little snooze in between there.
I think the only part you woke up for is when I said I'm buying you lunch today for your birthday.
Oh, yeah. Is that a fat joke?
No. Ask Mike about my Hershey chocolate story, says John Rusiello. Do you have no idea?
My story or his story?
His. Yeah, John says, ask Mike about my Hershey chocolate story. So, yeah, I think we're talking about him.
Oh, if you could hear me, John, can I? He's got the most hilarious story.
Really?
And if he doesn't mind me sharing it,
well,
if he's talking about Bobby Lee.
Are you talking about Bobby Lee? I don't know. We'll find out. All right, let me read the rest of the comments, and then we'll find out. Here, Jerry Lahane, here's the pre-birthday Mike Kaplan. Say hi and tell your jokes, you cringy creeps.
We're cringy creeps?
That's fine. Fremder, between the stories you're telling and that shirt, you're starting to look like a bottle of red.
God.
Brendan Burt. Hello, Brendan Burt. Engineer boots, check. Leather jackets, check. Tight blue jeans, check. Who wants to buy some Village Green? Oh, Brendan Burt. What are you, hanging out with Fremder? Oh, John Rusiello says yes.
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 Oh, this is a great story.
Okay.
All right. I'm pretty sure I remember it exactly. I don't remember the exact date, but John became a New York City police officer in the late 70s.
Okay.
And he was groomed and trained by these two great detectives, right?
Right.
Leo Galen and Bobby Lee. Now, Bobby Lee was a small, skinny guy, but he ate 2 Hershey. You would appreciate this. He ate 2 Hershey bars, regular Hershey bars, every single day of his life. Even at his daughter's wedding, he said, "I don't want no fucking cake. I want my 2 Hershey bars." And I hope I'm doing this justice. John.
I've
You
been
tell
there.
me if it- So
Yeah.
one day, Leo Galen and Bobby Lee are in the front seat of the police car. John's in the back seat. He goes into a drugstore and he buys Bobby Lee the thick Hershey bars.
The king size.
The king size.
Yep.
So he gets in the car and he's like, "Hey, here, Bobby, I did you a favor. You don't have to buy Hershey bars today." So with that, Bobby Lee looks at him, takes a pause, and he's like, he rolls down the window and he goes, "These aren't fucking Hershey bars," and throws them out the window.
Oh.
Because there is a difference between the thin ones and the thick ones.
Absolutely there is.
And him and I were sitting in his garage one night, and my ex-wife, "Oh yeah, they are different. They're made different."
Yep.
This went on for like a week between John and I.
The thin
try to
ones taste more chocolatey.
They're a little more chocolatey.
Yeah.
But so obviously, you know me. I ask a lot of questions. I'm like, wait a minute. You went in there, bought him 2 chocolate bars as a favor, and he threw them out the window.
Well, yeah, that's kind of bullshit.
But you had to know those type of guys back then. They were
Well,
very hardcore guys.
True.
So I said, wait a minute. He didn't just hand them back to you, said, "That's very nice of you, John." And John looked at me like, "You don't know these fucking guys."
Right.
I'm like, because that's what I would do. No, thank you, but I don't eat.
Oh,
those.
that's what I would have done too. Right.
So then he had to. So there is a difference. So this is actually a very informational story.
Oh, you could learn something
So
on this show.
there's a big difference between the thin Hershey bars and the thicker Hershey bars.
Yes.
The king size.
Yep.
I hope I did that story justice, John.
The-
because that when he tells a great story, John.
Yeah.
He's a great storyteller.
Oh yeah, John's called in. You know, we enjoy talking to
He's
John.
great. But the way he explained it, because John has these big brooding brown eyes, and so when he tells you the story, he's very intent. He's looking at you,
Yeah.
and he does great accents and the way he explains things, and it's like he transports you back in that time.
Right.
So I felt like I was in the back seat with him. You know, when Bobby Lee threw him out the window.
Damn it, Bobby Lee.
I mean, who
Could've given
throws
them to me.
Hershey bars out the window?
Not me. See, now that's the thing. I love Hershey bars so much, and I do agree with Bob Lee. But I love Hershey bars so much that I would have appreciated the favor, and I still would have eaten them. I mean, it's still a Hershey bar.
Too. It's still a Hershey bar.
So I would have,
I never
been
even
happy
thought
about
of that. I would have still eaten them.
Right.
But he was like, "No, I eat that. Then fuck you."
Wow. Not only that, but plain M&Ms. If no matter what size bag, whenever I'm buying M&Ms, I grab the bag and I shake the bag first. You're looking at me like I'm nuts.
Well, you are. Yeah.
If the M&Ms are loose, they taste better than a vacuum packed bag. Like it's so thin and like the M&Ms, like you shake the bag. You shake the bag and the M&Ms don't move around.
Yeah.
They won't taste as good as air in
You're
the bag.
stark raving mad.
True story.
How did you find that out, Bobby Lee?
Bobby Lee and I were throwing Hershey bars at each other.
That could have went really sideways.
Bobby Lee and I were licking each other's chocolate. The Hershey Highway. And no, I just I just discovered that because as a chocolate fiend, I used to buy a ton of M&Ms, and I just kind of figured it out. And I swear to you, true story, when I was with my first wife's brother, he started dating a girl who he eventually married. They're now divorced as well, but they eventually married. But I said this to them one day, right? I forget how we got into it, but I said it, and I'm telling you, I barely knew the girl at the time, but I'm telling you, her face lit up. I go, "What's the matter?" Like something was wrong. She was, "I thought I was crazy. I thought I was the only one that knew that." I'm like, "What? You've noticed that?" She goes, "Oh yeah, I've been buying the loose ones for years." I was like, and I did. I actually went to her and hugged her because she's the only person I've met in this world that has noticed it too.
No, when you say the loose ones, if you shake the bag, you hear them rattling.
Yeah, and the
around.
M&Ms are
You
moving.
feel it.
Those taste better. They're more chocolatey. The ones that are vacuum packed, all you're tasting is shell.
Wow.
Yeah, it's true.
Because you know the little fun size ones? I dump them in my hand. I put the little bag in my
Yep,
in my
I do the
mouth.
same thing. I put the little bag in my mouth.
Yes.
And then
I'm
and then somebody moans like that. All right, so so it's your birthday tomorrow, the big 5-9, your last year in your 50s.
Yeah. Wow.
Goodness.
I thought about that on the way. My last.
Is that
Yeah.
weird?
Not really, no.
What are your plans tomorrow for your birthday?
Me and Trisha, my significant other.
Yeah.
We're going to spend the day together. She's
Naked?
there'll be plenty of nakedness.
Nice. Trisha's a good girl.
She's a good girl. And I don't know. She's going to
You've got her fooled, man.
I got her fooled.
I look on
I got
Facebook.
her
She's
fooled.
like, this woman is totally smitten.
Oh, yeah.
It's like every other post is about you.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, holy shit.
You're not the first person who said that. Has she seen the real you yet?
And she looks lovely. She looks like a nice woman.
She's a very nice woman.
Yeah. So you're
Only one. Now, obviously, we've done murder mysteries for years, right? There has been women that make me laugh.
Yeah.
But just in general, No woman has ever made me laugh. And I know there's great comedians here, women comedians, and some of them are funny, but I'm talking about in a relationship.
You're a sexist son of a bitch.
I am a sexist
pig bastard.
fucking bastard. She makes me laugh. And it's one of the turn-ons for me. I've never been romantically involved with a woman that makes me laugh.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, I didn't know your first wife, and I didn't know your last wife all that well, but your second wife, I thought she was very funny.
Oh, Jennifer.
Yeah, Jennifer. Yeah, I knew. I'm not going to say I knew her well, but fairly
I
well.
knew her
yeah.
well.
And
now the whole world knows I was married 3 times.
So was I guess. Yeah.
She was mildly amusing.
Oh, okay.
She was mildly amusing, but she had a dark side.
Well,
So
right, and that I saw too.
That overcame the
Yeah.
funniness of her. But she really never made me laugh. And you know I'm a very hard person to make laugh.
You are physically laugh, and we've done
Physically
shows
laugh.
about it in here. But you do have a big sense of humor. You do.
I have a great sense of humor. And Trisha, I want to share a joke that she said it was just an impromptu joke.
Okay.
We went to Montauk a couple weeks ago.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. And we're just hanging out and we're chatting and I noticed she wasn't making eye contact. So I said, "Can you pay attention, please?" And so she looks at me deadpan and she goes, "How dare you tell someone to pay attention with ADHD?"
Oh, that shoots you right down.
I thought it was fucking hysterical.
Does she have ADHD?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I got hysterical.
And then she said, "I'm not kidding you, prick."
I know. I said, actually, I didn't laugh. I said, and this is how I physically laugh. That's fucking hilarious.
Yes, I will vouch for you on that.
Yes.
That is what you do.
Because I'm a cerebral thinker.
Right.
And I'm like, holy shit, that's funny. Yeah. Like Fat Jay comes in here, he kills me. He's a
I love
funny
Jay.
son of a bitch.
Yeah, he's great.
He's great. A lot of things when we do murder mysteries, you're hysterical.
Well,
and
right
I'll
back at
laugh.
you.
But when real great jokes, I'll say, holy shit, that's funny.
One of the funniest things I ever saw in my life. Jennifer was involved in this, and I'll tell you the story. Actually, I'm not even sure I've ever told the story in here. It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen, and you'll quickly know where I'm going because you were there for this. And we've talked about it before. Mike and I years ago were both in a production of It's a Wonderful Life, and we were doing the show at a library, and there was no stage at this particular library, so we were just in the front of the room, and the audience were sitting in their seats. And there was a center aisle. Okay, now the way that, I knew you'd pick up on it. So the way this production worked, it was a play, but it wasn't like a full play. It was like half radio read, half choreographed movement. Like a play. So it was a little bit of both.
It was brilliant, actually.
It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
So, and the actors in the show, the way this particular company worked it, you come up to the stands, to say your lines, but then when you're not in a scene, you didn't go off the stage. There were chairs along the wall, and all the actors just had to sit in the chair.
Yep.
Right, and wait for their scene, and then they get up, go back. But they wanted a very, I don't want to say militant, but very organized, professional look. So when you sat in the seats, you were
very serious.
thing.
Yeah.
Yes. So you didn't just hang out like this and whisper to the guy next to you.
No.
You had to just sit. And they even said, "Look straight." I usually would just look down, but they would say, "Look straight and don't react to anything. Just sit there until you have to do your scene." So what happened was, in fact, you're in the scene. The guy that was playing George Bailey is yelling at Mr. Potter. If you guys remember the movie, you're a scurvy little spider, Mr. Potter. And he's yelling at so this actor is yelling at Mike. But the way the director wanted it, after the actor's done yelling, the director told the actor to leave the room, storm out of the room. So for this particular venue, again, we used to travel different libraries and theaters. At this particular library, there was a center aisle. The director told the actor before the show, run down that, or storm out going down that center aisle and go out the door. So the actor is facing Mike and he's yelling at him, and he turns to go to the center aisle and storm out. But what he didn't realize, so he turns, there was a woman in a wheelchair in that center aisle. And she's right there at the front row. I mean, she's right there. So this guy turns. He turns right into her. They go over. The wheelchair goes back. The wheels don't. I guess the wheels were locked. So the chair itself goes back like that. And he's on her. He's on her like this. They go down. They come within an inch of hitting the floor.
Oh, yeah.
And the two of them are now just looking at each other like this. But then it was like, but somehow, I don't know, springs or what, I don't know. But
maybe she grabbed the wheels to go back. I have no idea.
She was like a old lady.
That's true, she was.
Maybe it was the weight of him. So the chair comes down, and you hear everybody go, but then the chair comes right back up. He stumbles off it, so he just goes around her and walks out. Like, we had to actually stop for maybe 30 seconds because the whole place was just reacting to this.
Yeah.
I am the worst when it comes to stuff like that.
You.
I was holding it together, right? I remember vividly seeing his face with her face, the two of them looking at each other like this as the wheelchair is about to hit the floor. But it comes back up. I'm doing just fine. Like, I'm actually holding it together, and I actually close my eyes, and I'm sitting there, right? But then I open my eyes, and right there in the front row is Jen and your son and her son, and they're laughing. You need to get that? You can get that if you want. Hello.
Stop using those big fucking words. Cerebral. Will you stop?
He thinks I'm you. He thinks you're me.
Will you fucking stop? All right, everybody knows you're educated. Everybody knows that you're just a fucking half a fucking nerd. Stop using the words on the air, cerebral.
What's the matter with cerebral?
No, I'm going to agree with Mr. Rusiello here. Yeah, those are.
Yeah, but you know what? He's full of shit because he's 10 times smarter than I am.
Is that right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Listen, I don't see John running for public office.
Exactly right. Thank you, Tony. Listen, I'm
was
just a
pretty stupid,
has-been
actually.
old man sitting in my reclining chair in Florida watching the Tony Walker show. My whole entire life now is watching Tony Walker.
I'm sorry.
I'm pissed off that you're not on Wednesday. Wednesday, I have nothing to do. All right, I have to turn around and sit in my garage, my man cave, because I made my garage a man cave, smoke my cigar, and think about tomorrow, Thursday.
So you messed up his whole week.
I see that. Maybe,
yeah, you fucked up. Go on the air Wednesday.
Maybe I'll start putting some old shows up on Wednesdays.
Okay. That's beggars can't be choosers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
true story.
Go ahead.
That's a true story about the Hershey bars. All right, and Mike and I would eat a Hershey bar in my house. In fact, I'm going to mail you something, Tony, that you're going to laugh. All right, and it's about Hershey bars. All right, it takes about 6 or 7 days, unfortunately, from Florida. But and what Mike didn't tell you, Mike is so anal and ADD. He opens up the Hershey bar his way, and I opened up the Hershey bar the wrong way, and he chastised me in my garage.
You chastised this man in his own garage.
No, I chastised him.
Yeah, in his own garage.
In his own house, yes.
Yeah, that takes a lot of guts there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even has to open up the Hershey bar proper way.
There's a proper way to open up a Hershey bar?
Absolutely. You got to do it with the foot all the way down.
What was that?
And then you unfold it on each side, and then you take squares.
I didn't follow it.
He just rips the whole thing apart.
Well, yeah, you take that flap, you just rip it open.
There's no, you don't rip nothing open.
Yes, you do.
No, because it's folded, and you go.
What's folded?
Like the back of the Hershey bar. You take it out of the sleeve, right, and then this. No, you don't even take it out of the sleeve.
Oh, you're talking about the aluminum that's in the aluminum thing that's in the sleeve?
Yeah, but
they don't come that way anymore.
Yes, they do, and it's almost like opening up a letter. You do it nice and gentle, then you unfold it nice, right? You following?
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah, unfold it, and then you take square by square. John, I don't know what he did. He just ripped it open. I'm like, what the fuck you doing?
Are you in the? You're not in the service anymore. It doesn't matter. You don't have to neatly open it. You just
is like, what is 2,300 hours? What does that fucking mean?
Is that what you do?
Can I interject here, guys?
Please.
Can I interject?
Yes, please.
Tony, I come from the South Bronx. I was born and raised in a tough neighborhood in the South Bronx, and we had a word. We used to nickname our everybody. You know, like my nickname was Ragu, and the whole 9 yards. All right. You know what his name would be in the South Bronx?
Tell us.
Jerk off. Have a nice day, guys. I'm still listening. I love you.
Thank you, pal.
Love you, John. Yeah, big jerk.
What does it matter how you open it? The point is to get into the inside.
If you do it nice and neat, you take it nice square at a time.
Okay.
And then you really enjoy it. But then
you enjoy it more because you open it that way?
Oh yeah, it's nice and neat.
Yeah, and then you end up crumpling it up and throwing it out. That's how it ends.
No, actually I fold it up nice and neat and then I place it in the garbage receptacle.
It ends up in the garbage, so what does it matter?
Everything is in the presentation.
Presentation? I'm not entering a contest. I'm eating a Hershey bar. What presentation? You're sitting there with Ragu. Like, you don't have to impress him. You just
but he opened it up.
He's open. He's smoking a cigar. He's farting. He doesn't care. He just wants to.
He was opening up, papers flying, or the foil was flying. I'm like, the fuck are you doing, man?
The foil is flying. He's like,
it's almost like sacrilege to the Hershey bar. You have to do it properly.
Yeah, but see, you get the thin Hershey bar now, like from 7-Eleven, a single, just one. It doesn't come with the with the sleeve and the foil anymore.
There's no sleeve, but
the big ones.
It unfolds because there's a.
It's got that flap in the back.
Glue, and then you just unwrap. You just go down the back of it. You flip it upside down.
Right. You open up that flap.
Bring one in next time, and we'll have a demonstration.
I know. I believe me. As John was talking, I'm like, how fast can I run to the 7-Eleven over here and get a Hershey bar? But it would take a while. But all right. Next Thursday, you here next Thursday?
I'm here next Thursday.
All right, I'm bringing a Hershey bar.
Okay. You know what? You bring one, I'll bring one, and then you can show me, and then I will show you the proper way.
I'll handle it, and I'll bring in a few different variations with different types of wrapping, and we'll discuss this. I can't wait to see what you do with this.
Because you cannot eat a Hershey bar, just a bar. No, you got to break off the squares.
See, now I don't even break it off. I take the whole bar and I'm talking about, the regular, just the rectangle. I'm not talking about like the big ones. I'm just talking about, and I just eat it. I don't take a bar off. And
the squares are there for a reason.
I do the same with Kit Kats. I don't break off the thing and eat them individually. I just eat the whole thing.
Oh, Kit Kats? No, they're so delicious. I do that.
You do that too? You don't break it off?
No.
Oh, wow.
No, Kit Kats?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I break them off individually.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't. Everybody does except me.
They're scored for a reason, to enjoy them individually.
It tastes the same. What's the difference? So you're saying it tastes different. To break it off.
Oh, and then you have one piece at a time,
yeah.
And then you go to the next piece. It's actually it makes for a very enjoyable afternoon.
Now my phone is ringing.
Uh-oh.
It's Sid's Service in Indiana.
Wow.
Hello.
Yeah, Tony.
Yeah.
This is Jimmy over at Fitmore. How you doing?
Oh, hey Jimmy, how you doing?
Alrighty. I tell your son, we got a mirror that we had got for his viewing, but just tell him to drive through here and let me make sure it's the right one before I paint it.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, buddy.
I'll let him know. Thanks, Jimmy.
You're
All
welcome.
right, bye.
And you're going, hello.
I know. I was totally. It said Indiana. It said.
Yeah.
So, all right, there you go. This is riveting stuff here.
Wow.
My son had a minor fender bender a few weeks ago where his passenger side mirror got ripped off. Like torn off, not ripped off, stolen, torn, like it fell off. So that was the call saying that they had to order a new one and it came in. That's what that call was.
And you're saying, hello?
I know, I was totally ready to mess with this person.
Yeah, I
know.
And he didn't even catch on.
No, he had no clue.
Like, hey, Tony, oh, yeah.
He's like, hey, that guy's always being a jerk.
God.
Yeah, and by the way, and it was totally my son's fault, by the way. Stupid
What do you
idiot.
mean? It can't be his fault. How did he?
He's at a red light, and he wanted to get into the turning lane, and the turning light turned green, so he wanted to get in, and so, which I hate.
I don't know what a turning light is. You mean a traffic signal?
The
Okay,
light.
I just want to make sure
There's-
you're right, using the right terminology.
I am using the right
You're
terminology.
talking to a highway guy that got
Yeah,
creamed
so
at
what do
the-
you call
on
it?
the election.
Yeah, well,
It's a
I wouldn't say.
traffic light.
Yeah, but I was specifying that it's the turning light only. It's the light to let you know you can make that left.
Yes, the green arrow.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh, so if I said green arrow, that would be your lingo, but
Yes.
our viewers wouldn't know what I was talking about.
Sure they would.
No, they wouldn't. They'd be like, which direction is the green arrow pointing
viewers
in?
are very highly intelligent folks.
You apparently have not seen them enough. So he, and I hate when people do this, and of course my guy decides to do it. He goes up on the on the median so he can get around the car to make the green light.
Yes.
But in the median, he goes up on the median, but also in the median was a railing, so he didn't have a lot of room. Apparently, he didn't have as much room as he thought because he didn't make it. He scraped the car next to him, a brand new SUV of some sort. This guy literally had this car for 3 months.
Oh boy.
And my guy, in his 2006 Buick LaCrosse that cost me $2,000, he scratched the whole side of this guy's car.
Oh boy.
And
Was he mad?
No. Well, the guy was mad. Oh, the guy was furious.
That's
oh
not
yeah.
the guy from Indiana.
no, that's the mechanic.
Okay.
But yeah, so yeah, Zach called me up. Dad, are you busy? I was like, why?
Yeah.
I just had an accident. So I get there, and they're still in, like I guess the guy must have said, don't move. I want the cops to see what you did.
Yeah.
So I get there, and sure enough, I see that. I go, this is what you did? Yeah. He goes, I usually make it. I go, so you do that all the time? Yeah.
You know, at home I have the New York State traffic code
Okay.
manual.
Yeah.
Would you like me to give it to you so you can give it to Zachary?
No. I would like him to sit down, and you and I will lecture him for a couple hours as we read. Let's read the manual cover to cover. Yeah, that's what we should do.
That'll get him.
He'll fall asleep. I don't know if that'll teach him anything, but son of a bitch. Yeah, so my insurance is going up yet again. He's had he started driving in 2018? Yeah.
About right?
Yeah, 2018. So 5 years.
Yeah.
In 5 years, he's had 5 accidents. And I would say probably 4 of them, if not all of them, were his fault.
Come on.
Yep, I'm telling you.
He needs the book. Either thrown at him or read to him.
Right. He needs to call Uber. That's what he needs. John Rusciello, next week you will have a special surprise. I will send it overnight. Overnight?
Wow.
Oh, my goodness, John. Are you sending Buc-ee's? Have you had Buc-ee's?
I don't know what that is, but I'm about to run out of here.
Oh, no, you're not.
What is a Buc-ee?
You'll be running back in here to have
Buc-ee Dent?
Buc-ee's. No, no. Buc-ee's is it's like 7-Eleven. They're down south. They're all over the place down south.
Okay.
So I don't even remember how we got into it, but there's a girl who watches her. I think I told you, Carol.
Yes.
Carol Miner. She lives in Texas. She's a childhood friend. I forget how we even discovered Buc-ee's. Maybe she must have mentioned it or something. So she ended up sending me. She was telling me. Oh, that's what it was. I think I was complaining one day because we're sitting there talking about chocolate. Reese's peanut butter cups. Mm-hmm. They disgrace me. Like when we were kids, it was good, and it looked like peanut butter.
Yeah.
Now you crack one open. I don't know what that is.
Paste or
It's
something.
it's paste. It looks like chalk.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I don't know what that is. I can't eat it.
Yeah.
So Carol mentioned this place, Buc-ee's, has a great peanut butter cup. And it was really strange because she mentioned that to me, and I did the same thing. I said, what the hell is a Buc-ee's? Sure enough, 2 days later, CBS This Morning, they have that weekend show where they spotlight. Yeah. Sure enough, 2 days later, on that Sunday, they did a piece on Buc-ee's. So I'm like, holy shit, what are the chances of this? So I sit back and I watch. It's like a 10-minute, 15-minute piece. So it's like a 7-Eleven, but they also have, now when I say food, I don't mean like the hot dogs and the rollers. Like they have people cooking.
So
it's like a glorified 7-Eleven. Like they sell clothes, and it's like almost like a department store almost.
Yeah.
But it's also a gas station, and you can get your snacks.
But it is considered a convenience store.
Yes. And so then I'm watching that, and I'm like, oh, and I'm thinking, all right, well, maybe that's kind of smart if you're driving down the highway, and then you can get everything you need there, including gas. So and then everybody in this piece is talking about what a great store it is, and the prices are competitive, and it's not overpriced, and the people are nice. So it turns out that all their employees get full bennies. They get paid a living, like a fairly decent living wage. Like they're treated like gold. And all the employees, of course, they're going to say they're happy, when they're on TV. But again, you see that they're getting full bennies and they're taken care of. Yeah, why wouldn't they be happy? Mm-hmm. So I'm like, so I gained a little respect for this place. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. So then Carol, she sent me a box full of, they're called Overbites. It's just milk chocolate.
Overbites.
Yeah, milk
What a
chocolate
cool
stuffed
name.
with peanut butter. That's it. It looks like almost like a hockey puck. And I'll never forget. She sends it up here. I'm like, oh, let's try it. And oh my God, I mean, unbelievably good. It was heaven.
Really?
So of course, us being us, we've made jokes ever since how much we love to eat Carol's box.
I love it.
Especially her chocolate box. So, so she's probably at least 5 or 6 times now. She's sent shipments up. I have started sending her money because I feel bad that she's spending money. Yeah. But yeah, so just 2 weeks ago, she sent during the summer, you can't do it because it'll, by the time it gets here, it'll be liquid. Yeah. So I'm always very excited at this time of the year because that's when the shipments start coming in again. So about 2 weeks ago was the first shipment of this season. And I think I just finished the last one the other day, which as I'm saying it, I'm now realizing how much trouble I'm in because I promised my mother one.
You did?
I'm just realizing now that I ate the last one.
How many come in a box?
Oh, my goodness. It's Carol's doing. She just buys a bunch of them, stuffs them in a box.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. And sometimes she'll send other things like just a milk chocolate bar or milk chocolate with caramel. And whatnot.
Now, how did she become a fan of this show? Because of Andy?
No. Carol's a childhood friend of mine.
I see.
Yeah. So Carol started watching, I guess, to see what I was doing. Carol and I knew each other when we were kids. We weren't close, but we knew each other. But as adults, I've seen her through the years at times. We've become close as adults.
You have.
And she has a son on the spectrum, and she's very involved. So we've, even before this show, we would call each other and compare notes about certain things, ask for advice with certain things. But then, then she started watching the show, and she sometimes calls in. Like John does, calls in and contributes and makes it fun.
Yeah.
She's been in here once or twice.
Oh, she has.
Yeah, because she still has family up here, so she comes up here once or twice a year. So she's just.
What made her go down there? She wanted to raise cattle.
She.
Just work.
In high school, her parents moved to Florida. So a year or two before graduation, she ended up in Florida, where she met her husband, and then I think they went to Texas for work. He's from, I think, Chicago. I forget where he's from, but yeah, I think it might have been for work that they decided on Texas.
Nice.
So they love it down there.
Carol Miner.
Yeah, she's a class act. She's great.
I can't wait to taste their box.
Yeah, I'll have to. I'll try to remember to save you one, and I'll try it. Mom, I'm sorry.
I know.
I'm sorry. I know because I was going to give it to her next week for Christmas.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Let's see what John sends. Maybe I'll save some of John's box.
I will tell you, John's boxes are always delicious.
Is that right? What's her name?
And he always sends great things.
All right.
Well, tell you. I'm not just saying that because you're my friend, John.
Well, I thank you in advance, John. And so if you're sending it overnight, does that mean I don't see him again for another week? So does that mean I have to save it for him? And and speaking of waiting a week to see you, we were going to talk about that. We still have some time. So I got to tell you a story. So yesterday, no, not yesterday, Tuesday night. Tuesday night, I was working Tuesday night. Hershey and the Keegs weren't on. Mike Keegan had a stand-up gig somewhere. But it worked out nice because I ended up getting booked for a game show. So Tuesday night, I'm doing this game show. I get out of there a little before 10 o'clock. Yeah, 9:30-ish. And I have about maybe a 20 to 30-minute ride home. And as I'm riding home, my phone buzzes, and I get a text from a guy who runs some events at a place called, what's it called? Millneck or Millneck Creek, Mill Creek, something. A fancy restaurant in a town called Lloyd Harbor here on Long Island. Town. Lloyd Harbor is, it doesn't get much richer than that. In fact, I think, speaking of Billy Joel, I believe that's where his house is, the house that he's currently selling. I believe that's where it is. I mean, beautiful giant houses with, acres and acres of property. We did a show at this mansion a year or two ago. And so this guy calls me up, and it was a private party. This guy calls me up. I guess he has another private party. He says, I know this is last minute, but I need a murder mystery next Wednesday, December 20th. He goes, I looked at your website. I said, I see that you're booked, but is there any way you can help me out? So this is, around 10 o'clock Tuesday night. So I text him back really quick. His name is Rich. I go, Rich, I said, I do. Like you said, I'm already booked. I said, I don't know what to tell you. I said, oh, so he writes back, well, what time is your show? Because the show I need is at 3 p.m. I'm like, oh, all right. Well, the show I have is booked for the nighttime. I said, but 3 o'clock in the afternoon, that's a tough order because, our cast, they're not doing this as a full-time job. This is a side thing, and they all have a life. I said, this is a tall order, man. I said, you guys, you're going to have to pay. This is a very tall order. Last minute, during the day, I said, it's a tall order. I said, if I can get a cast together, we'll do it. I said, but you're paying. And he said, no problem. I said, oh, okay. So this conversation started Tuesday night, but then it continued yesterday morning. So it wasn't until yesterday morning that we finalized that this was definitely happening. So I reached out to the cast, and I had everybody except for two guys. One guy got back to me and said he couldn't do it. The last person I was waiting to hear from was Bosie. Bosie hadn't responded, and we rehearse on Wednesday nights. So I knew that I had to at least replace one parts, if not two. So I figured, all right, I got some phone calls to make. I got to find some people, that can handle this on a week's notice. So I called one guy who was not able to do it. My second call was to this guy, and I've told you guys before. When I met Mike doing the dinner theater. That's how we met 26 years ago. So, and I started. When I had started my own, I started with Mike. Mike and I were business partners for the first 2 years where I was doing it on my own. And so I figured, this is great. I'll call Mike. And I know Mike doesn't have anything to do because he lost the election. So I figured he has time. Sorry, had to do it.
That's funny.
So sure enough, we lucked out. Mike said yes. So I'm very excited. And then it turns out we had rehearsal last night where Bosie said he is available. So, so Mike is going to be joining us. Bosie doesn't know you. The other girl, Stephanie, doesn't know you.
So just you and Linda Bart.
But who am I missing? Me, you, Jeff, Stephanie. Who am I missing?
You need more fingers?
You, me, Linda.
The
Jeff,
woman who's
Stephanie.
playing Lola.
Yeah, I got her already. You, me, Linda, Stephanie, Bosie. Oh, yeah, and then, all right, got it. The guy that hosts the whole thing. Yeah, he doesn't, I don't think, you may have met him. His name is Steve. You may have met him because.
Stevie GB.
No.
We can talk for hours.
I still see Stevie once in a while. He once in a while plays here.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, so you only know me and Linda, but you're a seasoned veteran at this. It's only a week's notice, but I know you can handle it. But I'm very excited. So, yeah, so we're going to be doing a Knockem Dead Comedy, doing a show next week at 4 o'clock, or actually 3 o'clock. From 3 o'clock to 4:30, we're doing the show in Lloyd Harbor, and then we have to go straight out to Patchogue, where we're performing at that meatball place. So it's going to be...
This is someone's home?
It is somebody's home.
Or the Mill Creek Inn. I know that place. Yeah.
Oh, is that the name of it? The Mill
I believe
Creek
that's-
Inn?
Yeah.
I do think that's it.
So it's at a restaurant.
No, it's somebody's house.
Oh, it's someone's house.
But that is like they rent part. I mean, it's it's a mansion. And when I say mansion, like this place looks like a school. I mean, it's huge. It's a huge freaking house where they rent out part of the house for events.
Wow.
Yeah. So I remember when we first time we went there a year or two ago, they even said, "Don't go down that way because that's their living. That's where they live. Go down this way." Like I was like, "What? They live here? What?" Like, yeah, they live here. They rent this part of the house out for events and different things, private parties. I'm like, okay. And it's it's north as North Shore gets. It's like one road in, one road
Lloyd
out.
Harbor is magnificent. Yeah.
Yeah, it's something to see. So so we have we got a busy day next Wednesday. Yeah. I'll be leaving my house probably around 1 o'clock. Probably won't get home till 10, closer to 11. Yeah, it's going to be a busy day, but it's going to be fun. And it's not the first time that we've done back-to-back shows like that. So it's been a long time, but I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to it because it's been a while since you've done one.
It has been. Oh my God!
I mean, we didn't have. When I say that Mike and I started it together, Mike moved on. We didn't have like a bad split. There was nothing wrong.
No, there's nothing
right. So
wrong.
we were still friends, and you have a handful of times.
I sprinkled a couple.
Yeah,
I did it.
Yeah,
you sprinkled me in a couple times, but I'm going to say
it's been a while.
Maybe 10 years since I've done a show with you.
Well, it's been 11 since Knockem Dead started. And you definitely came in, like you definitely jumped in at one point since it's been Knockem Dead.
Yeah, I did a show in Sayville for you at the Knights of Columbus Hall.
That was when it was still Drop Dead Comedy, the company you and I started.
Comedy. Okay.
But
that's a long time ago.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That ended in 2012.
I thought I did something with Knockem Dead.
That's what I'm saying. I think you did too.
I rehearsed with you a couple times.
Yes, and I don't remember where, but you definitely did. So but again, Knockem Dead started 11 years ago, so I would say probably 7 or 8 years ago.
I think you and I have done this so well that if I have an issue.
Yeah, if you want to, sit on the phone one day and we'll run through it or whatever you need. But again, you're a great actor. You're a professional.
Oh,
I have no.
Say more, please. Say more.
Right. I think you'll be just fine with that. What are name some of the shows and movies that you've done? I know you've done Wizard of Oz. What other shows have you been in?
I really wanted to play the Cowardly Lion. And,
I can see you doing that.
I really wanted to play him, but it was the director wanted 3 very young actors to play those.
It is a physical role.
It's a physical role. Even though I think I could have done it. So he gave me 3 parts. He gave me Uncle Henry, the gate guard, who rang that bell, which was a lot of fun.
I could definitely see you doing
that. A lot of fun,
yeah.
and the wizard.
That's cool.
With the body mic and the voice.
You have a great speak. I think we talked about it last week. You do have a great speaking voice.
That's one of my highlights. Playing Silas Barnaby in March of the Wooden Soldiers. Was probably my favorite.
Where and when did you do that?
I did that for Carriage House Players in the 90s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Mr. Potter was also, even though it wasn't a big production,
right?
But just to say those words in front of people and make Mr. Potter my own was quite an experience.
Every time it comes up, that's exactly what I say. I'm telling you, you were better than Lionel Barrymore.
That is quite a compliment.
You were fantastic in that role.
He was great.
You remember we got in trouble in that show?
Yes, I do. We were always getting in trouble. You remember how Marlene used to look at us sometimes?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So we were in this show. Now, Mike was a fantastic Mr. Potter, but we both played several different roles in this particular production. Now, you also played Mr. Gower, the druggist.
Yeah.
So, if you got now, I also played. The bartender's name. Do you remember? I don't
Ernie.
remember. Ernie?
Ernie?
No, wasn't Ernie. No, Ernie was the
Ernie
cab
was the
driver,
cab
which
driver.
I think I did. I played
It
also.
was
I
an
think.
Italian guy's name. Was it?
Yeah, whatever his name was. Which was weird that I played the taxi driver because, excuse me, I got a frog in my throat all of a sudden. But because I had to play the taxi driver, because my wife was playing Mary Bailey,
Yeah.
and so I'm sitting there driving the cab, and like, oh, you two should be kissing. You just got married. I'm like, yeah, that was weird. But but yeah, I played whatever the bartender's name was. So you know the scene in Wonderful Life, Nick. You're right, it was Nick. So you know the scene where George is with the ghost, Clarence. Thank you. And they see Mr. Gower. You know, he's this low down bum that everybody hates because he
was in jail for killing a kid.
Killing the kid. George wasn't there to save the kid. So my line was something like, get this low life out of here, whatever the line is. But it was get this something out of here. But for every show, I would change that line, that word. I would get this drunk out of here. Get this, silly little man out of here. And I actually remember, I actually said, get this pudgy little bald guy out of here. And that's exactly what happened. You actually broke.
That. Yes,
you broke.
I broke.
Which then made me break. And yeah, we got a talking to it.
Yes, we did.
And then we never. I stopped
Because
changing
it
the
was
line
such
after
a
that.
serious black box show.
Right.
She was her and what was the
Chuck.
Chuck, thank you, up Chuck, was very serious.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did get in trouble.
And I guess we had it coming. But yeah, we were often in trouble. I remember rehearsals for that show. I should have left. I should have left that company with this one because I was really pissed. We were in rehearsal, and the director's son was the guy who played George Bailey, and he was horsing around during rehearsal, and I was
A lot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but this
yeah.
particular day, and we were all sitting in a line. I had the end seat, so this guy was on my right. To his right was another guy, Dave, who I love to this day.
Oh, Dave Rasmussen.
Yeah, love Dave. So, and of course, I was taking part a little bit here and there with the joking around. So it was me, this actor, and this other actor, Dave. The three of us were kind of messing around a little bit, but it was mostly the director's son who was horsing around. And she would turn to us a couple times, knock it off, you three, stop it. I'm not going to tell you again, shit like that. So, and I did. I stopped, and I'm trying to just figure it out, with my lines and stuff. Because, you know what it was too? I don't know if you remember, the original play, like in the movie of It's a Wonderful Life, the movie starts out with the three ghosts talking, Clarence and the two other ghosts.
Yeah.
In the original play, those three ghosts are prominent throughout the whole thing.
Yes, they are.
Where in the movie, you only,
Couple times.
Yeah, it's very minimal.
Very minimal.
But we were going with the original play version, so I was one of the ghosts originally. but then one of the third ghost, Jeannie, she had to quit. Something happened, and she had to take out of the show. So Dave, who was playing Clarence, we basically went to the movie version, where Dave was handling all the angel stuff, and now I was taking on other roles. And I remembered this rehearsal. I did stop goofing around because they had just switched me to different roles. So I was trying to get it down, and I figured, all right, I'm going to stop fooling around. But they kept fooling around, and they were chuckling, and the director turns to me. She was, you, out. I said,
remember that.
oh, yeah, and I literally went, what? She was out. I said, what are we talking about? She was, I told you to knock it off. I said, I wasn't doing anything. So now I'm pissed. And it was almost like a junior high conversation. I didn't do anything,
Yeah.
She said, out. I said, okay. And I walked out, and I stood, and I hung out in the hallway. It was at least 20 minutes. She came out. I went right at her. I said, I wasn't doing anything in there. I said, I apologize for everything I was doing before. I said, but I had nothing to do with whatever was going on in there. I said, I said, I can't believe you threw me out. And she just made a couple of jokes, and she let me back in. I'm telling you that there were a few times there were a lot more times that woman deserved to be
Walked out on?
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's just say that.
By both of us, yes.
Oh, by many people.
Yeah.
In fact, I was talking to Linda Bart the other day. You were already gone at this point, but I was still there, and Linda was still working for her. We were rehearsing for a show. She actually, Craig, did you know Craig?
Sure.
She actually
Little
pulled
skinny
it.
guy.
Yes. She actually pulled, in a rehearsal one day, she actually pulled a tomato out of her pocketbook and threw it at him. And if he didn't duck, it would have got him. I mean, it was a perfect throw. And it did. It hit the wall and splattered. And Linda says that to this day. She's like, I should have left after that. She goes, what the fuck was that? Linda always
you
brings
don't
that
do
up.
things like
You
that.
don't, no way. Yeah, that was something. But yeah, I had there were a few. Usually I kept my mouth shut, but there were a few times. There was another time we were doing a murder mystery with them at a firehouse, and a fight broke out. And Chuck, he locked us in a room for our protection. We were actually locked in. We can hear people screaming. We can hear things fumbling around, and we were locked in. We had nowhere to go. And, people, we had cast members who were getting a little freaked out by that.
Yeah.
And I went at him after that. I got right in his face. I said, you will never lock me in a fucking room again. Oh, yeah, I was pissed. And I had a good relationship with that guy at the time. But
I actually thought he was a very nice man.
when he wanted to be. When he wanted to be.
When he wanted to be, yes.
He could be a real jerk, too.
He said very nice things about us after that run.
Yes.
It's a Wonderful Life.
He
paid me and I remember what he said about you, but I'll never forget what he said about me.
Which was?
He said,
I forget.
when Michael Kaplan performs, he makes his characters not from acrylic, but in oil painting.
Oh, okay.
It was a
that's
beautiful
cool.
comment.
And that's totally him. I can hear him saying that. Yeah. But we were doing, is it Wuthering Heights? Weathering Heights? I forget. Wuthering?
Yeah.
With a U.
With a U.
Yeah, Wuthering Heights. That was his favorite play, book.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was his absolute favorite piece. We were going to do it. And I remember him saying to me, "You're the only guy I wanted to play in this role." Who was the actor that made the movie?
I don't
was it
know.
Errol Flynn?
Might have been.
Ernest Hemingway? I forget. No, Hemingway wasn't an actor. Who am I thinking
he was
of?
a writer, thank you.
Who am I thinking of? Whatever. So,
Tony Walker.
yeah. So he made a big deal. You're the only guy I want in this role. I'm like, okay. But just as we had started rehearsals, Sammy had just turned, I think, 2. And we were just starting to realize that there was something going on. Mm-hmm. At first, she was diagnosed with needing glasses.
Yeah.
Turns out, we didn't know it. We didn't know it until she was 2 that her eyes, I mean, still to this day, take her glasses off, she sees just like blurred colors. Her eyes are awful. So, and we discovered it then. So things were a little funky at home because we were starting to realize that things weren't right. But she got the glasses, and we thought, all right, that'll fix everything. Mm-hmm. But it didn't, and, and that's eventually, within a month or 2, getting diagnosed with autism. And it did. I was like, holy shit, what do we do now? I mean, she didn't start really talking much until she was 4. So there was a lot. So I did. I dropped out of the show.
Yeah.
And he was never the same with me after that. He never forgave me for that. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And I personally think it's a pretty good reason to drop out of a show. But no, he was never the same with me after that.
First,
oh, absolutely. And to me,
it's actually a real dick move.
Yes. That was the thing for me. I never looked at him the same after that. Like, now you're going to treat me this way?
Yeah.
And I mean, I can't tell you how many times I apologize. And there were, he lived a half hour away. There were times I'd drive out to see him to apologize again because I felt so bad.
Yeah.
And then as I was slowly starting to get back into shows again with them, I said something to him about, like, again, I feel, because I could see, I was trying to repair the relationship. I could see that he wasn't acting the same towards me.
Right.
So I said something. I called him out on it. I said, I see we're not the same. I said, I'm trying to salvage this friendship, trying to do right. I said, I feel bad, but I had to do it. And, whatever we said. And as I walked away, he turns to Marlene, and I hear him say, something about not giving a shit what I have to say or something like that. I overheard him say it as I walked, and that's when I said to myself, I am fucking done with this guy.
He's probably dead by this point, right?
Yeah, you think?
He was around 50 at the time. Well, I guess maybe he'd be in his 70s by now.
Yeah,
Close to 80 maybe.
Yeah, give or take. Yeah, probably. Yeah. I don't know.
The other one, she's got to be in her upper 80s by now.
Probably upper 70s, early 80s, probably. Yeah. All right, we're going to get out of here. Before we get out of here, just stick with us another minute. Your birthday is tomorrow, so happy birthday, pal. But you're trying to raise money as a
for
birthday.
Angels of Long Island.
Yes, please.
Angels of Long Island is an unbelievable organization. Check them out at Angels of Long Island. Check out their Facebook page. They have a website. They have a thrift store in Mastic and Patchogue, but they feed everyone that's struggling, homeless. If you're in need, give them a call. Check out their website. Anybody that's struggling or homeless or just everyone's in time of need today.
Angela's House? Is that what you said?
No, not Angela's House. No, it's Angels of Long
Oh,
Island.
Angels of Long Island. Yeah, Angela's House is something else.
Yeah.
Sorry. Angels of Long Island.
Debbie Loesch is the owner, and Patricia Peterson is the outreach coordinator.
Now, what, do they just Google Angels of Long Island?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And everything will come up.
Oh, okay. All right, cool.
Thank you.
And you're trying to raise money for your birthday tomorrow to go towards
we're having
that organization?
we're having a big Christmas event. They do this every year. They've done it for about 3 or 4 years, or more. I'm not really sure. We're doing on this Sunday at Hagerman Fire Department. I believe there's 400 to 500 people that have signed up.
Wow.
And a couple, like either a single mother or parents, that fallen on hard times, and they don't really have money for Christmas presents for their children.
Okay.
So they had it. There was an application. They all had to be vetted, and I believe there's around 500 parents coming this Sunday, which I will be volunteering, and there's over 5,000 or 6,000 toys that have been donated by organizations and partners around Long Island.
Okay.
So they'll be coming in, and each parent will be able to be allowed to pick like 4 or 5 presents for each child.
Oh, okay. That's what I was going to ask.
And it's
Okay.
all free for them.
Wow.
And this is all donated. This is what kind of stuff they do.
So they just come in, they get online, and they just...
There's no line. They were actually given a specific time to come.
Oh, because
So
like
it's very
anonymity
organized.
type of thing?
It's what?
Like an anonymous type of
No,
thing?
it's
So you
not
come in-
anonymous. It's just you can't have 5 or 600 people show up at once. So it's,
Wow.
it's a time.
Do they get to actually pick it, or they're just handed wrapped boxes?
No, actually there'll be tables set up with toys that are from like age 4 to 7 for a girl or a boy, and if they have you have a boy, go see that person over there. They have a bunch of toys for just boys from ages 5 to 10 or 10 to 15. They have bikes there.
That actually makes me sad that there's that many people who need that kind of help.
I didn't know it either until I started volunteering there.
When we talked about it last week, because last week we had EJ's PJs in here, and that's when I discovered how bad it is. Because when they came in last year, their goal was to hit 2,400 pairs of pajamas, and I was like, "There's 2,400 people on the island alone that need those pajamas."
Oh yeah.
This year, their goal is to hit 4,000. And so like to hear that there's that many people on the island alone.
Thousands of struggling families.
It's awful, man. It makes me really sad.
Yeah.
But thrilled to hear there's places like that doing good things. So Angels of America. Sorry, I keep screwing that up.
Angels of Long Island.
Angels of Long Island.
There
Angels of
is
America
an
is a
Angela's
movie.
House. I know.
I know.
That,
That's why I keep
but
confusing
I
it.
don't believe it's not nearly as big as Angels of Long Island.
Angels of Long Island. Go check it out.
Angels of Long Island.
Wow, that was spooky.
That was pretty cool.
That's not welcoming for.
That's not welcome. Angels of Long Island, folks. Thank you.
Wow. Well, that
was a little gay.
I don't know what that was either. Yeah. All right. Well, happy birthday, pal.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna go to lunch. All right. All right. So that's it. We're out of here. Today is Thursday. What do we got on today? Nothing. Oh, you know what? Circling the Drain. We're gonna have that playing tonight at 7. No Primal Scream tonight. Nick is taking the night off. He will be back next week. So, Circling the Drain at 7 o'clock. And then Andy and I are back here tomorrow. We're going to have some fun. Of course, don't forget Governor's Comedy Club. The big soap opera show is today. Steve Burton and Bradford Anderson from General Hospital will be here tonight at the main club. They're going to be doing some music and some comedy and hanging out with you guys. And I do know there's a VIP package for meet and greet after the show. There's all sorts of good stuff going on with those guys. Let's see what happens. I'm not sure if I'll be here or not. I would have been here if Nick was doing his show, but now that he's not, I'm not sure if. So this guy, Steve Burton, he's a popular guy from General Hospital.
I think I've heard of him.
He comes in here maybe 2-3 times a year.
Is he a comedian or just an actor?
He's an actor.
He's an actor.
He was in. What did you ever see this movie with Robert Redford and James Gandolfini? Gandolfini's a prison warden.
Oh yeah, that's a really good movie.
Something, the castle, the last castle,
the ice castle, last castle. I think last
something
castle.
like that.
Yeah.
So Gandolfini's the warden.
Yeah.
This guy Steve Burton was like his right hand guy. That's Steve Burton. But his big claim to fame is General Hospital. He was on that for years. So when he comes in, this guy packs the place like you would not believe.
Really?
Oh yeah, this place is mobbed.
He lives here on Long Island, obviously.
No.
Oh, he doesn't.
No.
But obviously he's a fan of this place. He loves it.
Well, he gets paid. So.
But when you say he's here, that means he does a routine.
Yeah, he does a Q&A. He sings a little bit.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
I see.
it's like
so he's not a comedian.
No.
No.
So the first time he came here, after I was in this room, I tried to get him to come in here. And I was told, he'll come in if you pay him. I'm like, all right, well, screw that guy.
Yeah.
And be honest, it pissed me off. Like, I gotta pay you.
I would have been pissed off too, yeah.
So, and then it's really strange. For whatever reason, whenever he comes in here, he doesn't like to use the green room here at Governor's. He likes to use this room as his dressing room. So every time he comes here, I come in the following day, and I'll find stuff moved, or I'll find, glasses left, or I'll find some pieces of paper left. I'm like, what the? Because I'm responsible for anything that goes on in here. Then I'm like, oh, Steve Burton was here. So it just became a thing. Like, oh, Steve Burton. Or if I didn't know, I'd be like, oh, Steve Burton must have been here last night.
Yeah, but he could spill something on your board.
Exactly.
And what kind of dressing room is that? The sliding glass doors there.
I don't get it. I mean, the green room is a nice room. They have couches. There's a refrigerator in there. You actually get up. There's a door in the green room that takes you right onto the stage. Like, so you don't have to walk through the club. You don't have to go to a different area. It's right there. I don't get it. I have no idea what his deal is. So last time he was here, which was, I don't know, give or take a year ago, maybe a little less, maybe been earlier this year, I came in here to do a show. Hershey and the Keegs were doing a show. But he was performing in the club. So I walk in, and he's got a spread in here, a whole spread of sandwiches, catered, along this table. There's drinks everywhere. He's got clothes around. So I walk in. I'm like, oh, shit. I turn to, I see some of the staff here. I go, should I cancel the show I'm doing in here? They're like, no. We'll take care of it. I'm like, well, I don't want to upset this guy. They're like, no, don't worry about it. I'm like, okay. So I come in here, and I grabbed a few small things. I just put it out on the shelf in the hallway. But sure enough, this guy, Burton, walks in. And I was over in this area, so he didn't see me at first, but eventually he stopped. Oh, sorry, I didn't know anybody was in here. I go, no problem. He goes, am I in your way? I said, no, man, you're cool. He goes, I'll have all this stuff removed. I said, it's actually being taken care of already. He goes, so I am in your way. I said, no, it's fine. Don't worry about it. He goes, dude, I just love this room. I said, I know. He goes, you're the guy that runs this room? I said, yeah, actually I am. He goes, Mike, he must have said it 10 times. I love this room. And he probably read my facial expression. He goes, yeah, I hate that room. He goes, I just love it in here. He goes, but I don't want to disrespect this room. He goes, have I left messes in here for you? And I was honest. I go, you didn't leave anything that didn't take me 2 seconds to clean up. I said, it's fine.
Well, very nice answer, by the way.
Yeah. Dude, I'm so sorry. That's the last thing I want to do. I don't want to disrespect this room. I love this room. And he's going on and on. He just wouldn't stop. So finally I go, you know what? I go, you really that apologetic? I said, you sit down with me and do an interview. Because I'm telling you, it'll get me numbers. So I said, you said, oh. He goes, oh, I'll do that. I would love to do that. I said, all right, just say when. And I should have realized it at the time, but I didn't. He goes, next time I'm here, he goes, we're going to do this. And he calls the girl over that books him for this, who I know as well. So, but she was in the hallway here. He yells to her. She says, come here for a second. She comes in. He goes, you guys know each other? We're like, yeah, we know each other. So he turns, he goes, I want you to set it up. The next time I'm here, I'm coming in here, this room, to do an interview. She's like, okay, yeah, no problem. So I see a few weeks ago that he's coming. So I email her. I go, if you remember, Steve said he would sit with me for an interview. I'd just like to set that up. You know, what are we doing? She writes back. She goes, all right. She goes, well, let me talk to him. She goes, you'll either hear back from me or directly from him. I'm like, all right, perfect. 3 hours later, the whole email, all it says, I talked to Steve and he said no. That's the whole email. I just wrote back, thanks for letting me know. I'm like, you son of a bitch bastard. You prick.
Wow.
So I'm like, so I don't know. I might just come here tonight anyway. Like I said, I don't have to be here tonight, but maybe
He's going to be here
He's
tonight?
here tonight, yeah. So I might just come here tonight and just kind of see what goes on in
Does this door
here.
get locked, Tony?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But, you know, the owners open it for him when he's here. But, yeah, I do have some dinner plans, but I might just, after that, I might just stop by and come in here and see. And I want him to see me. I want to see if he remembers. I want to see if he plays the same game.
How long ago was that when he said, "Oh, I'll do the show"? Yeah, no problem.
A year tops. I don't even think it was that
It's
long.
not like it was years ago.
Right. So my guess is that he'll remember me,
that's a
especially if he sees me in here. He'll remember
I'm
me.
sorry, that's a bullshit move.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
that's a bullshit.
And I want to call him out on it.
Yeah, I don't
politely,
blame you.
but
Yeah.
and you know what? Make it up for me. I don't get, just sit down for 5 minutes, and that if I can get 5 minutes with the guy, then I'm fine.
That would be big.
That would be big.
That would be big.
But we'll see. So I don't know. I'm still up in the air whether I'm going to show up or
How
not.
old of a guy is he?
He's probably around our age. But he's a good-looking guy, and he's in great shape. In fact, I just saw it on Instagram just a day or two ago. He posted this picture of him, you know, no shirt on and muscles like popping out.
Yeah.
He's a good-looking guy. He's in shape. And he is a very popular guy from General Hospital. I don't even think he's on it anymore, but he's still popular in the soap opera world. So we'll, yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. You know, if so I don't know. I may have stories for you tomorrow. I may have a video for you tomorrow,
Or
or
you
I'll
might
have
have a
nothing.
black eye tomorrow.
That would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
Don't think for a second I won't sue his ass and make some money and go on TMZ and cry. All right, so that's tonight. Steve Burton here in the main room. And don't forget Knockem Dead Comedy next Friday, December 22nd. We're going to be at the Brokerage performing our mob-themed holiday murder mystery. We need people to come to this thing. So please make your reservations and come see us and have some fun with us. Yeah, we could really use that. We're also playing next Wednesday at that meatball place in Patchogue. Tickets are available for that as well. Go to knockemdeadcomedy.com for more information on us. But also here at Governor's this weekend, Vic DiBattista is here this weekend. Andrew Washington, Noel Rodney Jr., Laura Patton, our good friend Laura Patton, Gino Strong, Eric D'Alessandro is playing here on Sunday. Vladimir Camano, Joe Matarese, who's been in this room with us. He's a good guy. Those are just some of the names you'll see on the Governor's stage this weekend. Go to govs.com, govs.com, and make your reservations to do some great comedy shows. And I believe that's it for us. Once again, there he is. Greg Halverson is watching. Greg's the guy I was telling you about who's in our cast, who you're replacing next week.
Nice.
Who I'm trying to get in here. Greg, you got to get in here one of these days. Greg does a lot of Long Island theater. He's a retired hairdresser.
Wow.
And he's a big Kiss fan.
I thought you were going to say he's a big kisser.
Yes. Maybe he is. I don't know. Yeah, he says it's a must-see show. Thank you. He says, Tony, you look good in red. Of course. Thank you, pal. So, yeah, maybe he is a good kisser. Now he says, hey. Oh, I think he's responding to the kisser stuff. So, yeah, Greg, this is Mike. He's the one playing your part next week.
Hi, Greg.
Yeah, and he said one of these days he will come in. All right. Well, Greg, you're just in time. We're about to sign off. Everybody have a great rest of your Thursday. Day. Happy birthday to this guy tomorrow. And thank you, guys. Yeah, Circling the Drain tonight at 7. And then me and that guy tomorrow at 11 a.m. We will see you guys later. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Mike. See you next Thursday.
Thank you.
Thank you. Comedy for your event today. What will you experience at a Knockem Dead Comedy murder mystery show? Suspense, excitement, love, more love, violence. Well, not really. And, of course, some music. Knockem Dead Comedy is the #1 murder mystery troupe, entertaining thousands of people for over 20 years.
You have a great night or what? Good.
Their hilarious murder mystery shows are full of audience interaction from beginning to end that will keep you laughing all night long. Their shows are not to be missed. Knockem Dead Comedy's murder mystery themes include a mob show, a redneck wedding, a high school reunion, a family reunion with a luau theme, or your own custom show.
Johnny, you have a good time tonight or what?
Had an awesome time.
All right. She had a great time. KDC, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, all right.
Fundraisers, private parties, corporate